Back to social sciences class. All my dear young minds, today we are going to come across the other strategy or tactics followed by the military blocs headed by capitalistic United States of America and communist USSR led by Russia. Here, before we go into the military alliances, we have to conclude the part related to USSR, how it encouraged or abetted indirect wars. In the part called proxy wars. Proxy wars are the wars that are fought indirectly by US and USSR. They never straight away came into the warfield and head-on fight wasn't there. They abetted, encouraged the wars. That is mostly the suffering countries are the third world countries, where 20 million or 2 crores of people got lost their valuable lives, including army personnel, civilians, and so on. The wars that occurred in this third world. Third world countries are newly independent countries of Second World War or colonies, which got liberated from their colonial masters or colonial powers. So now we are going to come across, in the previous video we came across how USA was very successfully got collapsed the communist governments that came into existence and how it stood strongly against communist guerrillas in Turkey and Greece. What is the Truman Doctrine? These are all things we came across in the previous video. And what is the secret agency of America, that is CIA, Central Intelligence Agency, ISI, Interstate Intelligence of Pakistan. Like this we came across India Raw Research and Analysis Wing is a secret agency of India which collects information about other countries and their diplomatic policies and strategies and helps our Indian government to frame its diplomatic relations with the other countries. Right. Now we are going to come across how USSR tried to do some mischief in the world. See, in communist countries like, you can see Hungary, this is Hungary and Czechoslovakia, these two are. These two countries, what happened in 1948 and 1968, this particular country called Russia marched its troops into these countries. Why Russia marched these troops into these countries? Russia marched its troops into these countries. The reason is, here there are communist governments and the rulers who are in chair, they thought to go for certain liberal aspects in economic policies, which will be giving some private people to enter into these countries and invest so that some industrial activity starts and the people in that country suffering with unemployment will be getting some employment. Economic activity will be increasing. But for that purpose, they tried to adopt some liberal policies which were against, to certain extent, against communism. Communism always speaks about the production, distribution of goods and services should be under control of government only. But here, when they are thought of, because being under control of the government, the dreamed results are not there and employment opportunities are not getting expanded. If we give chance to private individuals, someone will come and invest and some opportunities will be increasing. And when people get employment, they will make their children to go to school, service sector activity like schools, hospitals, and also hotels, restaurants. There also some improvement will be there and some job opportunities will be there. And in this way, employment will be increasing in leaps and bounds was the anticipation of the communist leaders who are in power. But communist Russia got seen this as these all things are happening because of the involvement of that United States of America and capitalistic countries. And it identified these leaders are anti-communist and it marched its troops, army into these countries, Hungary and Czechoslovakia. Now Czechoslovakia got divided after 1991 into Czech and Slovakian Republic, where Hungary's capital Budapest and Czech's capital Prague. Slovakian capital Bratislava. So they, Czechoslovakia and Hungary, they marched their troops. This was opposed strongly by many democratic states. Why? Because they have their own government. Who is Russia to involve in the matters? So how external forces will be sent into these countries against the peoples of the country? So in United Nations organization, big argument was there from democratic states. They opposed Russianization, but Russia is having veto power. They could not do anything. Even though they opposed it, they passed a resolution. It was vetoed by Russia. But Russia did not pay any attention to the askings of them, or it paid a deaf ear to the demands made by those countries. And not only those countries, where not only in Hungary, Czechoslovakia, but also in East Germany, also when the rulers tried to, because when compared to West Germany, East Germany was not doing well in academic front. It was very good in sports, but academic front it is not doing very well. But so in East Germany also, rulers of East Germany also thought about liberalizing their economy to such an extent, where the people will get some employment opportunities and their economic aspects will be improving. Economy will be improving, country's economy will be improving. But this was denied strongly by Russia, USSR, and marched its military troops into that countries, which is nothing but a dictatorial aspect in the name of communism. What every country is sovereign by its own self. Others could not decide policies and programs of the governments in that particular state, sovereign states. But the sovereignty was undermined by Russia. It acted as elder brother and marched its troops into, without asking of the countries, marched its troops into these nations. And this was found wrong by even communist countries like Yugoslavia and also China. China after 1960s made it very clear, even though I am a communist country, I am not going to nod my head according to your tunes. Because why it did so is, if today I accept this activity of Russia marching its troops into that, in the name of communism, marching its troops into Czechoslovakia, Germany, Hungary, and so on, tomorrow it may do the same with me also. I am a sovereign nation. How I will be adhering to the orders of Russia? Even though communism may be common philosophy, political ideology of we both, but we have our own identity. So if I support now Russia's activity, making its army into Hungary, Czechoslovakia and East Germany, I have to accept that time also. Then it will question, if it send its army to my country in one or other pretext. I can't question it. If I question what it will say, on that day, how did you accept when I sent my military troops into Czechoslovakia and Germany? That's why China did not like the policy of communist Russia, and it kept away from communist Russia after 1960s. It did not support, it did not show any interest. Russia tried to bring China into its path, but it was an unsuccessful attempt. And also in 1970s, Russia interfered in the internal aspects of one of the Asian countries which is adjacent to India, neighbor to India. That is Afghanistan, above Pakistan it will be. Beside India, above Pakistan, Afghanistan, in the northern part, attached to our Himalayan region. So in Afghanistan, that acts between India and Russia, that exists, right, in the north. So in Afghanistan, it want to make its friendly government. That's why it made in 1970s, it made Najibullah as head of the state, who is in favor of USSR, by sending its military troops. And when USSR did this, then automatically America started encouraging some religious extremists or terrorists who are called Talibans. And Talibans created a havoc in Afghanistan against the government. They started kidnapping the government authorities, killing them, massive killings, attacks, widespread violence was there in Afghanistan. Got it? And non-Islamic idols like Buddha's idols used to be there, Bahumian Buddha and so on. They all were blasted, and almost all they ran a parallel government. And where did these people get support from? They got support from United States of America. And finally, with the support of America, they carried a huge violence in this country. Got it? So by 1970 and 80, They were able to kill the head of the state also. Najibullah was hanged down in the open streets in Afghanistan. Later, in 1985, USSR got withdrawn its troops from Afghanistan. And these religious fundamentalistic forces, they turned very strong and they ran the government from 1988 onwards until the 2000, beginning of millennium. So they ran the government with military power, muscle power, with weapons, got it, and by creating a threat. And in their hands, only up to 2010, we can call a girl like Malala Joy got attacked when she was speaking about girl child education. They are very orthodox and they don't want girls to get educated. Got it? And further system, that is wailing every girl, every woman have to wail themselves. This is the root. Islamic orthodoxy was there, and that they were to carry on. Got it? So most of them are tribal identity. Most of them have tribal identity only, right? They fellows very strongly, very cruelly acted against those who did not follow Islamic principles, Orthodox Islamic principles, and they started creating a menace. And they finally got the power by 1988. Once they got power, they started creating a big hell against non-Islamic groups and who are moderate Muslims or who are having some liberal thoughts. They were made a target of these Taliban. And ultimately, when Western countries identified this religious fundamentalism is increasing, they started putting a check to these Taliban, and ultimately this Taliban, which started as a serpent or a snake, became an anaconda, and even it made a historic attack against United States of America by attacking the Manhattan buildings on 11th September, this month on 11th, 2001. Got it? Where World Trade Center is existing. And the Taliban changed the name of their organization under the leadership of an Arabic businessman, Osama bin Laden. They changed their name as Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda. And again you will come across this thing in Al-Qaeda. One of the terrorist organization which want to bring the Islamic supremacy, and another organization now we are seeing is IS. That is IS once upon a time it is Islamic State of Iraq and Syria was the slogan at earlier. Now IS means in Islamic State. That means it want to make entire world into a Islamic State. And one have to understand, terrorism don't have any religion. You have to understand. Terrorism only want to create terror and panic, so that they want, by creating terror among the ordinary common people, they want to gain control upon the people or the states. Got it? And they don't have any religion. Unfortunately, most of the terrorist organizations are belonging to these people who follow Islamic faith, but all Muslims are not terrorists, or Hindus are not terrorists, or Sikhs are not terrorists. But religion have nothing to do. They want only mindless violence. Who are called terrorists? Maybe Hindu terrorists, Hindu religious fanatics, or Christian religious fanatics. Got it? Sikh religious fanatics. A big movement went on. 18th chapter will come across Punjab as station. How Sikh terrorists created a havoc in India with the support of ISI of Pakistan, Interstate Intelligence Service of Pakistan. So terrorism don't have any what we can call on sensible aspects. Mindless violence they believe, brainless violence they believe. They want to claim power or control upon the people by creating violence and terror, by terrifying the people. So don't give terrorism any religious mark. But of course, most of the things we may come across about Islamic terrorist organization, but there are LTT, Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam, which create a havoc in Sri Lanka, one of the, but it mere rose guerrillas in Cambodia, got it. So Ireland, North Ireland, Orthodox Christianity, the terrorist-related Orthodox Christianity, they created havoc for several days, right? The separation of Ireland from United Kingdom, they had a big agitation and killed many people. So that's why no religion is an exception. Even we saw some Hindu fanatics creating havoc at several parts of our India. But in Maharashtra, one of the place, they and also some parts of India, they carried bomb blasts. One of the organizer of this terrorist attacks in India, Hindu terrorist attacks in India, even became a member in the parliament in the recent past. But accused, I'm saying, who was accused and who also got convicted but went for a stay in the upper court. They are enjoying, right? So religious terrorism is limited to few people only, not all the people belonging to any religion are terrorists. We have to terrorism don't have any religion, Nana. It is against humanity, it is insane, so that's why don't more terrorists in the name of religion. Terrorists are terrorists, whoever it may be. They create terror, right? Now we will be going into military alliances. What are military alliances? See what for their form. One for defense from their rival group. From some rivals to defend themselves, countries formed into a friendly group. Alliance is making a friendly group. So this is America, United States of America, and even Communist Russia, they were very eager in forming these military alliances. These have a military importance and also strategic importance also. What is the strategic importance of that? 6 points of that we will come across later, right? Now we will see what are the military alliances formed. First and foremost military alliance that came into existence was Nato. On 4th April 1949, Nato got formed. Nato. 4 April 1949. What is this Nato now? What is this Nato? North Atlantic Treaty Organization. North Atlantic Treaty, this is the North Atlantic. North Atlantic divides Europe and North America. Continent of North America. In continent of North America, we have Canada and USA. So Canada, USA, and these Western European countries, which are capitalist countries like Spain, Portugal, France, Belgium, Netherlands, Germany, West Germany, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, like this, Italy, these all became a part of that NATO now. Why? See, after World War II, Russia was looking towards these European countries to bring them under its communist influence. But certain countries in the Eastern Europe, you can see, Germany got divided into East Germany and West Germany, Bulgaria and Federal Republic of Germany, FRG, and German Democratic Republic. Eastern Europe is called German GDR, and Western Germany is called FRG, Federal Republic of Germany, right? So, Federal Republic of Germany, Western Germany is forward capitalism, and Eastern Germany forward communism. So, it brought Poland, Finland, this East Germany, Czechoslovakia, Hungary, and Romania, Bulgaria, Yugoslavia and its influence. There are certain countries like Greece and Turkey, Asia, who are not having communist governments, and even it want to bring that communist governments in that particular countries, and it started encouraging those people who are opposing the policies of the government in those countries to come under the red flag or communist ideology, and they supplied weapons through Comintern and helped them in getting these weapons and arms, and ultimately they started creating a hell in that country by carrying the terrorist attacks, explosions in different parts of the country. So to counter this communist guerrillas, what happened? These Turkey and Greece appealed to USA, and USA guided them to UNO, and they went again to UNO and they appealed, and UNO asked USA to take action against the communist guerrillas. Then USA made a doctrine called Truman Doctrine in the name of the president of that particular nation. United States. It's not a country. We can call it a group of states, United States, right, of America. So the head of that state was Henry Truman. In the name of Henry Truman, Truman Doctrine was made. According to that, it gave military help, and also after eliminating all the communist forces from Greece and Turkey, it gave what we can call from 1947 on this happened. It gave even economic help also to rebuild, restructure their basic facilities and so on, roads, bridges and so on, hospitals, education institutions which were destructed by terrorists by their explosions and so on. So in this way, military and financial help was extended to Greece and Turkey, two countries. One is in Asia, West Asian country, and it is in Southeast Asia, European country, Greece. This is Greece. Greece. This is Turkey. So, after seeing this, to put a check to the expansive ideology of Communist Russia, America formed a group on 4th April 1949. It took its birth. The name of that group is Nato, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. According to that, all these countries lying on the what we can call coast of North Atlantic Ocean, they will be forming into one group. So that they want to give a message. If you, even a small country like Luxembourg, it is a city-state we can call between France and Belgium, Luxembourg. Even if you try to look towards Luxembourg, the attack will be from all of us. We will not permit any of other countries to look towards any smallest country in this group. They gave us indirect warning to Russia, if you try to look towards other countries, and it will be we will give a common front, means we all come together and will fight with you. If you are able to fight with all of us, you try to look towards any of these member countries, was the warning given. With that, even Russia got worried and it did not try to look towards capitalistic West. At the same time, it identified, I have to protect my communist countries, and within 6 years, after 1949, after 6 years, that is in 1955 May, it formed another treaty called Warsaw Pact. Warsaw is capital of Poland. Capital of Poland is Warsaw. So Warsaw Pact was signed between communist countries like this East Germany, Poland, Czechoslovakia, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, Yugoslavia, and so on. But they all signed a treaty, and they gave a message to the capitalistic America that if you try to look towards any of these member countries, the answer will be there from all of us together. So keep in your limits. Not only you have a NATO, we too have a group, and that all group countries, all communist countries came under one umbrella, and they made it clear that if any single country are belonging to communist bloc is touched by any of the capitalist country, answer will be given by all of us together. Common front we will make. So a warning was given by making a Warsaw Pact. Warsaw Pact was made. Warsaw Pact was made in 1955 May 1955. Warsaw Pact was made. This is an agreement made by among communist countries to protect themselves from attack made by capitalistic country. Any single country gets invaded, and we will be giving common front, or we will be going collectively fighting against that enemy. But it is collective security made. This word collective security also comes in League of Nations. One of the aim of League of Nations is to provide collective security. Collective security means few countries coming together and forming into one military identity, and they fight against the rivals who are trying to disturb the benefits of any of the member country, right? So that's what Warsaw Pact. And also several others also got from Nato. Southeast Asian Treaty Organization was formed by America, United States of America, with all the Southeast Asian countries which are doing very well in economy, like Hong Kong, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore. With them, Southeast Asian Treaty Organization was made by United States of America. ANZUS, Australia, New Zealand, and United States of America. ANZUS, ANZUS, ANZUS. America, Australia, New Zealand, and United United States of America. ANZUS was signed. Australia, New Zealand, United States of America signed a treaty, so that anyone, any others will be looking towards this, any of these three countries, the three will come together and they fight. And CENTO was signed. Turkey took an initiative and made an agreement, military alliance with Britain, Iran, Iraq, Pakistan. Got it? That is called CENTO, Central Treaty Organization. CENTO. Central Treaty Organization. What is that? Warsaw Pact, NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Why Warsaw Pact is Warsaw is the place in the capital of Poland, and Pact means agreement, right? It happened in May 1955. CETO, Southeast Asian Treaty Organization. Asian Treaty Organization. ANZUS, Australia, New Zealand, America. Formed into one military, United States of America, USA. Formed into one military, which is called ANZUS. CENTO, Central Treaty Organization. Central Treaty Organization. It got formed by Turkey organization with Britain, England and other Asian countries. Turkey, below Turkey is Iran and Iraq. Beside Iran, Pakistan is there. So these all countries got formed into what organization? CENTO, Central Treaty Organization. In this way, military alliances emerged, and it is not only for the defense of themselves. There is a strategic aspect also. Means a plan is also there, a tactics is also there, hiding at the behind of this military alliances. One is by forming these groups, they want to give warning to those countries who are trying to make any attempt upon their sovereignty or any attack upon their sovereignty, to give them a warning. We are not simple, we will not sit here looking to you. We will make a count, and if you are thinking I am alone, there are my friends together. So that they use this military alliances as a deterrent. Deterrent means something which stops. Got it? So these groups, they made to stop other planning of attacking any one of them. Got it? So that is one military and defensive strategy. And another strategy, what are the strategies? See, these developed USA, USSR want to sell their finished products. So then they want markets. If they form these alliances, surely those countries will be friends of them. They can send their goods over there, produce their goods over there, they can sell and they get money. Their companies can get money. What a strategy you see in the name of friendship. Got it? And also they can use these countries to spread their ideology, either capitalism or communism. Got it? And they identified as these places are very safe places for the investment of their entrepreneurs. These business people belonging to their countries can happily, safely invest in these countries. And these countries can be used as military bases. These countries can be used as military bases where they can, in the name of friendship, that Russia is looking towards you and suddenly it attacks. All of a sudden we can't send our army and troops there. We will send our army and troops before only, and you give some place to us. Our army, navy, defense, military, they will be staying there. The air force will be staying there. If at all any attack is there, then immediately we can counter them. So their military bases, they use this military. The countries who are a part of military alliances, that group of countries has their military bases. What it? So to station their armies and to dump their military equipment and explosives and so on. Got it? And also they want to get money. Why they want to get money? They are spending much on military activity, Nana. Got it? For research work. Got it? And they are designing latest weapons. And those weapons should be used. And when they will be used, when there will be a war between some two countries, they can take a side. America will take a side of one country, X country, and Russia will take a side of Y country. They will supply these weapons to them. And as they supply these latest weapons to them, those people don't have that scientific and research capacity. They will buy the weapons from them, and these people, whatever the money they spend for developing the latest weapons, they will be paying to the this USA or USSR. Even in India, Russia is going to produce AK-47, 10 lakh AK-47. It started its unit. It's going to start its unit in India. For this AK-47, what is AK-47? It is a latest gun which was designed, apart from laser guns. One of the latest gun designed during World War II, Alexander Kalashnikov AK. Alexander Kalashnikov, 1947, it got designed. That's why AK-47 it got named. AK-47, Alexander Kalashnikov, Russian. So this is a rifle. Got it? Yeah, which within seconds it will pierce the body. Got it? I think at a time it can deliver some 30 plus rounds. It can pierce. It can what we can call make holes round the body within seconds. Such a powerful LMG, light machine guns. So in this way, variety of weapons will be there. They will be designing. They will be through research work. And also designing whatever the money they spent upon the research work to the scientists and labs and so on, preparation of that, they have to get back. So they have to get back means someone have to buy them. These military alliances are used. Those countries who are a part of military alliances are used, which don't have that advancement in science and technology, in warfare or war equipment. They will be getting supplied this equipment. Because they are having some one or other rift with other country is giving a challenge, and actually people will buy. When they buy, whatever the money is spent by USA or USSR, it is back. So that's what the strategy of them meant, to spread their ideology. And also in the name of you friend of me, yours Tenali, mine Tenali, in the name like that, they want to say that you are friend, I am friend. And they want to have control upon their mineral and natural resources belonging to that smaller nations which are militarily weak and who are a part of military alliance. Whatever the natural resources are there, you are a friend of me, I am helping you, so I want to get some benefit from that mineral resources or natural resources. I am in need of that, can you lend me? And automatically being a friend, he will give the permission. And these people will exploit. They will be exploring and exploiting the natural wealth of that particular country which is a part of military alliance. Their vested interests are also there in making these military alliances. In next video, we will be coming across the third part of Cold War, or third style of Cold War that occurred arms and space race, and also some important incidents which created a huge tension where people suspected a third world war. What are the incidents? What happened with USA? What happened with USSR? In next video. Thank you. And after listening to video, please read the concept from the text. Make it a must. Right? Thank you.